Good evening to you all. Today is our day 18 of this 3-month data analytics bootcamp. Like I said, this bootcamp will last for about 3 months, and today is our day 18. Like always, we start by showing our outlines. That is what we have to cover for the day. So today we will have a recap on what we did on day 17. I mistakenly put day 11, so it's supposed to be day 17. What we did in day 17, yeah, that's how it should be. Okay, so day 17. Then we'll discuss about text to column. That's what we'll discuss about. Okay, so if you can call, yesterday we talked about some product and learn. That's what we discussed about yesterday. Some product and length. That's what we discussed. And I show you the reason why you will use some product and why what you can do with length. That's what we did yesterday. So today we are going to talk about text to column. That's what we are going to talk about today, text to column. What this text to column did in Excel is not a function, but it's just a procedure that helps you to separate text into different cells. That is text from a single cell into different cells. That's what this text to column will help you to do. It helps you to separate text that is inside one single text into different cells. And that's exactly what we are going to do today. So let's see how it works so that we will learn this text to column today. So let me share my screen again. So as you can see, this is my screen. We already have a name, a column with full name. Look at it here. This is the full name of people. But what if we don't want it to be in full name? We want it to be in first name, surname, last name, like this: first name, surname, and last name. This is the format that we want it to be. So what if this is how we want the names to be? We don't want them to be in full name. We want to create it separately like this. So in order for you to do that, all you need to is to apply text to column. First of all, you need to highlight everything. That is to highlight the entire data. Just highlight it all. When you highlight it, click on data. Then after you click on data, then you will see text to columns. You see it here, just click on it. So there are different ways for you to separate these particular columns. We have delimited way and we have fixed width way. So first of all, we are going to use this delimited because it's the most common way of doing it. This fixed width is like you are going to select how you want to cut it or where you want to cut it. That's where this width fixed width comes in. But let's start with this delimited so that after we finish it, then we come back and do this. So when you click on this delimited, then you click on next. So after you click on next, you will see this tab. I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, please. So if you click on this tab, if you click on it, then it means what separate this particular text is tab, but that's not the delimiter. This delimiter is what separate the text in the cell. Whatever separated. Look at this particular text, understand what separate this text. So each word that we want to separate, what separate them by default is space. So that's why I will put space. If you click on space, automatically you will see it will separate it like this. 1, 2, 3. 3 of them will be separated because this is what separates these particular names. Now, if I click comma, there is no comma in any way in the data. So by default, comma is not what separates them. I can click semicolon, but some data, there are certain data that comma is what separates them, or semicolon, or space. Some is even other character. It can be plus, it can be minus, it can be multiplication, it can be full stop, it can be whatever. It can be a lot of things to separate it. So if you have a data that what separate the words that you want to put in different cells, it's something other than tab, semicolon, comma, space, then you need to write it here. Maybe if it is dash, then you put it like this. Or maybe if it is colon, you put colon, but there is semicolon on top there. There is that. Or it can be anything. It can be at, it can be dollar sign. It can be a lot of things. You can put it here. Whatever it is, you can put it here. So now we can select the space. Then it's space that differentiate that separate them. When you put space and you are done, all you need to is to click next. When you click next, now it will ask you for the designation that you want it to be. By default, I will leave, if I leave it under B2, then definitely it will override this B2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it's going to do for me. But now I don't want that. I want it to start at the first name, surname, last name, but I don't want to override the original text. So I'll just click on this. I want it to start at the C2. Then I will click finish. So if I did it, you see, now I have this, I have this, I have this. So I have first name, surname, last name of the particular people. You see, I separate everything like this is how it looks like. So this is the way you can do it if you want to separate anything in Excel by using the delimit text to column and using delimitate. And this is it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm sorry. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take this. Here it is. I'm going to take this number. That is the number I'm going to take this. So I'm going to use delimitate in order for me to separate this IBN and this 23001 that we created. So in order for me to let me just highlight it. We are going to use the fixed width, not delimitate now. So if you go to data, click on text to columns, then you click fixed width, then you click next. So now under fixed width, you are the one to create a break line. That is where you want to cut from the data that you selected, where you want to cut, and you want this to be here, this to be here. So by default, if I hover here, after N, I click on it. Now you see I create a line separately on this. There is a line separate now, IBN and this. And take note, but to use this fixed width, there must be the same separator between the entire data. So now it's IBN. For example, now if I want to separate it, then I come to delimitate and I put text. If I put other, I put I. It's only I can't put IBN because I can't put complete IBN in order for me to separate it. And I want to cut the IBN and leave the numbers. So I can't use any of this because there is no tab, semicolon, comma, space, nothing separate this value. So definitely I must use this fixed width. So if I click on next, then I will click on this IBN. Sorry, I'll click on this IBN. Sorry, I will click here. That is IBN. That's where I'm going to click. Then it separate IBN and the number. So I'll click next. If I wanted to start at B, then I will leave the destination to B2, but I don't want it to be there. Then I will click on C2. Sorry, I will delete it. Just delete it and click on C2. That where it will start. Then I will click finish. By default, we'll have BN here and we have our numbers here. So we have IBN and we have the number here. So this is how you will do it by separating the text from one single cell to multiple cells. So I've already shown you how to separate it using this delimited and why you are going to need fixed width to separate it. So when you need fixed width is when there is no separator between the numbers, then you must use fixed width for you to separate them. But when there is a character that separates them, maybe comma, plus, time, any character that separate them, then you are going to use the delimitate so that you separate the words and do it like that. So if you have a question, please just ask your question, because this is exactly where we are going to stop today, and that's all. So if you have a question, please you can ask. Okay, so I think there is no any question, so we are going to call it a day right now. So I'll drop the video so that you can rewatch and see how you can do this text to column in Excel. So please have a wonderful dream and good night to you all.